Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the finals of the Japanese Championship Series. There are about almost 3,000 players that play in this championships, but only one of them can be crowned the national champion of Japan this year, representing them at the World Championships. Don't worry, the top two do get their invite. Top 32 actually get their invite to the World Championships, and top 8 earn a bye. My name is Rahul Reddy, and today we're going to be looking at the finals match and giving an analytical view of what could be done better and casting it from a different perspective. So we're going to go ahead and see kind of the walkout. I wanted to kind of do a little bit of the walkout and stuff instead of just doing the Champions League normal stuff because there's a little bit more aura. So the players they kind of just skipped the walkout, I guess, but they're both out. Both players, dripped out, ready to go. We see that Lugia VSTAR is in the finals up against Raging Bolt, Ogrepon. So for those of you who don't know, Raging Bolt Ogrepon is one of those new decks that has come out from this expansion, with Ogrepon EX being a card that can accelerate a grass energy to itself with the Teal Mask ability and draw a card for the grass that you accelerated. And Raging Bolt discards as many energy from your board as you would like, basic energy, and does 70 times that much for a lightning and a fighting. But you can discard grasses, you can accelerate a ton of energy using energy retrievals, using Professor Sada's Vitality, all that good stuff. And then on the flip side, you have Lugia VSTAR, another deck that can cheat out energies onto the board with the Archeops. Once you get 2 Archeops into the discard, you can use Summoning Star as an ability to place 2 Archeopses onto the board, and then that lets you go ahead and build a board of using energies at however way you like. And Lugia gets a taste of its former glory with a rainbow energy effect, something it hasn't had since the Silver Tempest format. So it earns back its ability to use Legacy Energy, which is a rainbow energy, as well as a -1 prize. So now we can play attackers like Iron Hands, Cornerstone Ogrepon, use Luminous Attacker. We see prize cards here, 2 Mist Energies on one side, Squawk Ability on the other side, and 2 Fighting Energies. So that is a little bit of a pain for the Raging Bolt player because now they only have 1 Fighting Energy to work with, meaning that they can only power up 1 Raging Bolt at a time, assuming that the list plays 3, 3, 7, 3 Fighting, 3 Lightning, 7 Grass, something that's become a common staple amongst the energies, a way to max it out. We see the Lugia player's hand is pretty saucy already with double Aroma. I think in this matchup, the Lugia player wants to take first to try to just get the turn 2 double Archeops attack off, and then the Raging Bolt player wants to take second to try to take 2 prize cards. So obviously someone is more correct here, but it looks like the Lugia player is going second, so Raging Bolt gets to lead. And cheat on the active for Lugia. We see Raging Bolt in the hand. We use the ability Teal Mask to start off, just see a card. Sandy Shocks as the 1 prizer of choice. It's a 1 energy requirement that knocks out opposing Mimikyus, which is really useful. There's like a bunch of attackers that are usually in that slot. Usually it's an ancient 1 prize attacker because you can use Professor Sada to accelerate to it. So even in the mid to late game, even though it's like a useless thing on your bench, it can be something that can hold an energy card. It can accelerate an extra energy card. That becomes plus 70 damage for Raging Bolt. And that's all you have to think about because the numbers are in numbers of 70. There is Pokemon Catcher in the deck as well. Here, it looks like a couple of copies to go ahead and supplement the fact that maybe you have to use Sada in a turn and your opponent thinks that they're free from gusting effects, but all of a sudden you can bring up something and kind of punch them. Greninja hitting the board, drawing 2 more cards. This deck has a lot of draw. That is the alert to it. It just sees a lot of cards all at once. Sandy Shocks here hitting the board. Also a good attacker into the Lugia deck because you can use a 1 prizer into a 1 prizer here. But on the flip side, yeah, I would also read a Sandy Shocks if it hit the board. But on the flip side, there's only 1 fighting to work with. Tails from the Aroma. We're going to go ahead and get our first Pokemon, first fixtures. We immediately see the Legacy Energy is there. A quick check on the energies from the Lugia player, knowing, hey, how many energies can I dedicate to each attacker? The answer here is always to grab Lugia, almost certainly, because you need to have a Lugia in play to use the ability and set up that way. But you probably want to get 2 Lugias into play because your opponent, yes, they did miss an attack this turn, but if you can go ahead and grab 2 Lugia, but if your opponent gets, let's say, Sada into Prime Catcher and knocks out your Lugia, you lose the game. You literally can't play the game if you can't get a V-Star up and running. So you need to get 2 Lugias down this turn. And Lugia isn't the worst attacker in this matchup either, because Lugia one-shots an Ogrepon. Because Ogrepon has 210, you can attack for 220 with Lugia. So you can go Lugia V-Star into Ogrepons, into Chinchinos, and use the Chinchinos to one-shot the Raging Bolts as the game progresses. And then you can take 2 prizes on something like Hands. Looks like the coin went off the table here. Looks like the coin went off the table again here. Both players, laughing, enjoying themselves here. We have the Ultra Ball in hand as well. So we can go ahead and get Chops with this Heads. We can go ahead and Ultra Ball for another Archeops maybe and read the wind and kind of tell our opponent, hey, you don't have it like that. But I don't know, that's a really risky play to make. We're going to see the Ultra Ball away the Chops. We're going to go ahead and grab, I think Luminion for a supporter probably makes the most sense to be. Maybe Luminion for Iono. You can't research away the second V-Star. Maybe you have another V-Star left, but I think using V-Star in this matchup is fine. Like, you can attack with multiple V-Stars. Looks like he wants to Lugia Jet this turn for sure, and see 3 cards. But the question is, what do we want to do past that? Like, if our 3 cards aren't good, we could just lose the game. So if we grab Archeops here, we're going to grab 2 Lugias. Okay. Oh, so that means we're going to grab 2 Lugias, be able to go Lugia Jet, which then gives us access to another 3 cards. And we have the V-Star already in hand, so we're looking for an Archeops, and we're looking for a supporter more than likely. So we're going to see 3 cards off the Read the Wind. Iono, Aroma, Cinccino. Wait, no, Minccino. Yeah. So this Aroma could be really useful because now the Aroma can grab us the big Cinccino or a second V-Star if possible. But then we have to Iono ourselves into a discard effect plus a Archeops, which is a little bit scary to do here. We're going to see a Sada for just a Grass, which is kind of a good sign because that means that now this Raging Bolt can't attack this turn. It's like physically impossible for it to. And somehow the Raging Bolt player is missing ways to get to energy. This deck that is so easy to find Earthen Vessels that they play multiple copies of. I mean, a quarter of their deck is energy cards. The deck is struggling to find energy cards to keep the function going. This deck needs to find early energy cards. It has, the rest of the board is kind of perfectly set up. And there is a Prime Catcher in hand. So we're seeing kind of the inconsistencies of kind of a linear deck that needs to just pile on all this stuff as we're going. We're going to go ahead and see the retreats. We're going to see a pass. So I think if we're going to do this, we could have Sada'd and maybe used Celestial Roar. Like retreated the Ogrepon ahead of time and Sada'd to both active and the other guy. Because now we're in a position where that doesn't really work nearly as well. We're going to go ahead and see a flip here, and we're going to see a Tails, which is not ideal. I think Tails is probably the worst option. I think we can get Research maybe, but if we got Research, I mean, we're not really like doing anything better for ourselves with Luminion. I think maybe it's just an Iono angle, but you don't want Iono your opponent because they have a lot of good stuff. So Jacques is also fine here, but I don't know what we're really jockeying for. I think Lugia has a slight edge in this matchup because you might be thinking, what is Lugia's answer to a Raging Bolt sometimes, but you have this really cool card called Blood Moon Ursaluna, and Blood Moon Ursaluna hits her exactly 240. So yes, you don't get to punch through a Bravery Charm or a Ancient Booster Capsule, but you can punch through a lot of things in this matchup, and that's really good. Flutterman is being grabbed. I think we're just going to Iono it to the bottom of the deck. I'd be remiss to think we're attacking with this card. So we're going to bench another Minccino, sorry, and we're going to go ahead and Read the Wind. So we're not going to Iono our opponent because we're just saying, hey, you don't have it like that. We see another Aroma, and we see the Cinccino. We see a Gear. And this deck doesn't really play supporters other than Sada, maybe an Iono, and maybe a Boss. So a whiff here is pretty impactful. We do see the fighting. Another Plight of no energy. Let's see what they drew into as a top deck. An Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball can go ahead and grab ourselves. So we're going to just Sada for 1. I think maybe I would have SER'd. I see an SER in the hand, so maybe I would have done that. Oh, there's a Lightning. But because now with this Sada, it guarantees we can't attack once more. So it's another turn where we're giving the Lugia player another turn to breathe, and we don't like that. Now we're down 2 Sadas, little to no effect kind of on the board. We really haven't piled up anything in our hand, and the Lugia opponent is just kind of running free with this game. We're going to Palpad back 2 Sadas, which I think is completely fine. There's no reason to keep Sadas in the discard unless you're like looking to make a Pokestop play. Here, Pokestop is something that you can, like, you want to hold the Sadas for after, just because it can be better in those situations. But now we're in a position where we just kind of want to, like, I don't want to discard this hand. We have Prime Catcher in it, so I really don't want to discard this hand because we can chase down threats potentially. Like maybe we switch card to the other Ogrepon and pass. So the Lugia player also knows the other side of the hand is good, but the problem is we top deck Jacques here, which is okay, but we still again don't have a way to go into V-Star. Sorry, get the Archeops. So we're gonna see another coin flip, an aggressive coin flip, another Tails. I mean, I think now is a position where we have to Iono, unfortunately. Like, I don't think you can keep waiting and holding this hand. Like, I think it's got to be... I mean, maybe you just jock and go get Archeops and just plan to give up 2 prize cards anyway. Like maybe that's part of your game plan here, where you just go, I'm going to give up 2 prize cards, because they can go give up 2. Raging Bolt takes 2. Lugia takes 2 back with Chinchino. Raging Bolt has to take a boss KO on Lugia, which then you can take 2 back with Chinchino. So now we see 2 Chinchino. And now we're putting the onus on Raging Bolt, and I guess he doesn't know that this Raging Bolt player plays. I mean, I would hold the V-Star because there's no reason to evolve it. And Raging Bolt usually plays 1 Iono, if that. So I don't think you really need to worry about disruption. So we're going to go ahead and read the wind here. Keep setting up our hand. A slow and steady approach, though. Paying off for the Lugia player just because the player on the other side has not really done anything. So we're going to see a gear, see a boss's orders, which doesn't really do anything. We were looking for a Sada here because the lightning is in the discard. So if we can hit the Sada this turn, we would be able to actually accelerate to the Raging Bolt and do something with do some damage with what we're trying to do. There is a Sada in hand. We're gonna keep Sadaing for 1, which is really unideal. Like, just being able to put energies on the board is really good. No Vessel still. Earthen Vessel is the 1 card we are missing. We're gonna be able to Greninja for 2 more cards. Earthen Vessel. There's a Pokestop. Oh, there's the Vessel. Thank God. Vessel now gives us access to the fighting energy. This is not our first deck search, but we're going to be able to do an energy search here, noticing that almost certainly this is our only fighting energy. So if we're playing with this only fighting, I think I would put it in the discard just so we have access to Sada it to the other targets that we want to Sada it to. We're going to go ahead and Teal Mask. Here's where the power of the deck comes in, where we can chain energies pretty freely. Oh, we're going to 1 prizer it up, it looks like. Here, attacking for 20 plus 70, I think, if they have an ability, but I think we can just catch her and maybe take out the... Was that better than... I'm switch carding? Oh, yeah, I guess we have Prime Catcher for later. Yep, seems fine. Switch card, and then we can go ahead and keep all our energies on the board, and we can smack this for 2 prize cards. Now, this gets kind of dicey. Or 1 prize card, sorry. This gets dicey if the Lugia player goes into hands here, because they can go hands, take 2 prizes here. If the other Chinchino goes down, they can go bench another Chinchino, and they can go hands, boss, KO the Greninja, and go up 3 prize cards, or 4 prize cards. And the same board state exists where now V-Star effectively just wins the game. Like, V-Star is now... but V-Star boss also this turn is, like, perfectly fine, because you're putting the onus on the other player to do something. There is a boss in hand, so maybe I would have liked to see the Chinchino boss's orders on the Raging Bolts. Because I think the Lugia player's win con is obviously 2/2/2 here. Like, I think it's almost always 2/2/2. So I think you promote the Chinchino here to take 2. And if Raging Bolt goes in this turn, then maybe respond with a Ursaluna. It looks like we're going to go ahead and put the Legacy energy onto the Lugia, just making Lugia into a 1 prizer as well. So almost our whole board is now 1 prizers. And so we're going to go ahead and I think just boss's orders a target on the bench here, and we have another Minchino in our hand. I keep getting them mixed up. I'm sorry, guys. We have another one in our hand to bench and keep the pressure going. So we can just boss up, one of the Teal Masks, take 2 prize cards. The Sandy Shocks, where the fighting is stuck on now, doesn't really do anything. And we have a Gift Energy knockout, and this Lugia in the active is actually now effectively a 1 prizer. And the Sandy Shocks has like a tall order, but I mean, in this situation, you really want to just take out a 2 prizer if you can, or maybe an Archeops. Like, just start cuffing your opponent's board a little bit. And here's where the problem comes in, right? The fighting energy is stuck on the active. I don't think there's another fighting energy in the deck. I only saw the 1 when he was doing his X search. So now we're in a position where Prime Catcher doesn't actually do anything unless we have to retreat and Prime Catcher in the same turn. So we lose energies in the process as well. So we need a Sada in addition to all this to power up our board. We're going to go ahead and see the lightning and the grass in the discard. We're going to go ahead and see like another lightning attachment here, which is pretty good. We're going to go see the boss order on the Chinchino. We're going to keep the train going here with this knockout. And we're going to be able to take a knockout here, allowing... So no extra cards. As a boss is prized. 1 card, sorry, for the gift energy. And not me here, we just go up Lugia, because I think there's no reason not to. I think you can go Ultra Ball Luminion for boss if you have the access to it. Keep the knockout chain going, and then Blood Moon Ursaluna kind of cleans out the game. Because either way, like, now you are going to be able to take 2 prize cards. kind of unfairly here. And once those 2 prize cards are taken, there is like no real comeback potential for Raging Bolt. Like, because if you go 2, they go 1 here, or even if they take 2 on the board, you don't have to put a 2 prizer down until you end the game. So there's Illuminated for boss. I think both cards are in there. There's the boss's orders. Yep, heavy boss is really good. We're going to go ahead and see the Archeops coming through as well. Just putting a gift energy. So we just want to get Iono and then like maybe Prime Catcher or Catcher. We've already seen the access to a Catcher. So if we get Catchered, there's a chance that we could just, lose our hand size and don't have a way to come back into this game. Because like now this end game win con is Blood Moon or Saluna. So if we can just get to Blood Moon or Saluna, the game is fine. And we're fine to commit all these energies to Cinccino, because we don't really need any more than the attackers we have on board. Because let's say they come back up with the Sandy Shocks and boss up or Prime Catcher, or like gust up the Cinccino again, or Minccino again. We are in a position where like Blood Moon Ursula like always just wins the game. Like you're going to Lugia attack into the Sandy Shocks into Blood Moon Ursula for game, like every single time. We're just putting all 5 onto this guy, kind of full committing to the board. Making so we can't draw into energies. You get to see 2 more cards. Boss is the last prize. So Sandy Shocks is almost certainly going to be the knockout this turn, where we're going to go Prime Catcher Sandy Shocks, take out the Minccino, or we can always gust something that isn't... there's Bravery Charm here, which does bolster up the Sandy Shocks. Not Sandy Shocks, sorry, Raging Bolt. So now Raging Bolt gets bigger, and Freddy Fazbear can't one-shot the Raging Bolt, which is good. But we're going to be able to see Prime Catcher here. No disruption, it looks like. I don't think you can bench another an Ogrepon here, because if you do and there is another boss's orders, it's kind of game over. Bundle is an interesting tech card here. Coming in to the board, able to push something out of the active and maybe just free another prize card up for us. No Sada here to accelerate more cards, but we do have the fighting stuck on the active. I think we take a fighting here off the prize card versus guaranteed. I think here maybe you can just SCR and like attach an energy card, because I don't think it really matters where you attach it, but I would just attach it somewhere. So we're just counting Gust here. 1, 2. We're going to go ahead and grab all 4 grass energies in the discard. I think it's probably wise to keep some in there. Actually, I probably wouldn't have grabbed all of them, just because you have energy retrievals as an access card too. The last 3 prizes are so brutal. There's 2 fightings and a vessel. We're going to see the gift energy draws. Looking for the boss, but we all know the boss is prized, so it doesn't really matter. So I think in this situation, you just promote Lugia and attack with it. You really can't lose if you draw the boss's orders here. All the Cinccinos are gone. I think you just bench Blood Moon or Saluna. There's no reason not to bench Blood Moon or Saluna in this situation. And I think it's like a bench Blood Moon or Saluna. Archeops. I would even Archeops to it, I think. I think maybe like pull an energy out of that, because you still have 4 energies in the deck, which is quite a bit. So maybe I would put Gift there. And then maybe I would put DTE Mist onto Lugia V. Because you have energies in your hand as well. So I think maybe put DTE Mist on Lugia V, which means then you can't draw into those cards. And Lugia V can become V-Star and attack with, and you have a Mist and a Jet left in the deck. And we're going to go ahead and Ion. We're going to Jamming Tower, and we're going to Iono. Cool. So there's a Jamming Tower on this Lugia list, which means that the Charm is completely useless. So Blood Moon Ursula can do something, and this late game Iono to 3 is really crucial, because now a ton of energies got put back into the deck. And this Sada, again, now instantly loses value. Any energy retrievals instantly lose value. Yeah, it's just tough. Wait, did you look at top 7 with the gear? No, Great Ball. Okay. I was like, why did I say gear? That doesn't make any sense. Why would Lugia be playing gear? So we're going to go ahead and see. The Sada is there to get the fighting back, which is really important, because that is one that we really need to even like play the game here. But we need a stadium bump desperately. We see the bundle. I think you just give up an Archeops, because like you just don't need any more energy in this game. You really don't care. I don't really think we need to bench another one, but Sada is fine here. Oh, Iono. We're just going to Iono. This is not good, because we don't have enough energies to actually attack. We don't have like he's gonna Vessel and get the bad news that there's no more fightings left in the deck. Vessel away is Sada too. Getting the bad news that there's just no attack here. Like, this play is kind of beyond me. Where like this is a situation where you should know your prize cards at this point in the game, especially this late into the game, and a deck as linear as this, and figuring out that you prize something that's crucial as 2 fighting energies is pretty important here in this position. So now we're gonna be able to get the Pokestop to bump the stadium, but I mean this turn is already wasted because you don't get to attack this turn. So, like, if you can't attack this turn, it doesn't even matter what you do in the grand scheme of things, because you're not taking a prize, you're not mitigating anything. So you can't win the game now on knockout and then Gust onto Luminian or Gust onto Lugia. Like, now the game is back in the Lugia player's court, where all they have to do is really, if they play second Jamming Tower, they can just go Jamming Tower, attack with Ursaluna. Or they can just attack with Lugia, discard your stadium, and make you to have Sada, and you just discarded a Sada too. Like, I don't really know why we discarded Sada over some of the other resources in our hand there. Like, there's 3 Sada gone and Palpad, so like the odds of us hitting another Sada are pretty low. And if we don't hit Sada, we can't find fighting. We can't hit fighting. We can't win the game. Pass. Archeops just getting an energy out of the deck. Mist is completely okay here. We have get the shuffle real quick. I mean, I don't think we ever hit the stop as Lugia. There's no items in our deck really. I mean, the Lugia player should just play it slow and steady, just attack here. No reason to do anything else, and then discard the stadium. Cool, nice and easy. Now this Raging Bolt in the active has to move. We're gonna take a look at all the resources here, counting all the energies, seeing maybe if there's a word we can gust again. I think the player on the right, the Raging Bolt player, is trying to stall by gusting and sticking something in the active. I think they're tunnel visioning a little bit on that play, but I don't know if that's actually accurately going to win the game, because Lugia plays 16, 17 energies, so you just aren't ever really going to put them in a position where you can lock them up in an efficient manner. That being said, I don't know. I think we fumbled the bag a little bit on this game. Like, I think if we just sodded last turn and taken a knockout on the active, we have a chance. We guarantee hit a fighting, and then so fighting plus a catcher or a gust effect over the course of like 1 turn basically wins us the game here. And we have gear, so we could have geared for boss potentially, or I mean Iona also I guess works here, but like it's not a Sada. Like we have to Sada 100,000% here. Like there's no other supporter we can play this turn to even play the game. And if we do Sada, like it's got to be Sada to the fighting to the bench. And now we're playing on a switch card. There is a switch card. We did get bailed out, but there is no charm on the bench one. There's no bravery charm. So switch carding here is we're doomed, because if we switch card and we attack and take a knockout here on this active, we take 1 prize card, and then now Blood Moon Ursa wins the game. So the only other win con maybe is to try to hit catcher if there's one left in the deck. There's only 1 catcher. I'm remiss to think there's only 1 catcher in the entire deck. There's another big charm. That's actually pretty good. We can go to a 0 card deck here with stop, but I don't think that's good unless we actually have Palpad left, or Rod left, but I don't know the resources. But if there's another catcher left, you could go catcher up the Blood Moon Ursa potentially and try to win the game that way. There is a catcher, there is a Rod, and there is a energy retrieval. So Rod is good here, so we can just pick back energy so we can't get like decked out, which is nice. And bundle. I don't think we need bundle. I think I would just do energies, but I guess bundle's fine too. Shuffle up the 3. I don't think we'd grab bundle. I don't know why we're just getting more resources back to our hand. I don't really think we need to play any more cards realistically. I don't think we need to bundle. Like, I think we need those energies. We don't need to shuffle that. It's just 2 energies. We don't need to shuffle that. It's just 2 energies. Why are we bundling? That doesn't make any sense. Maybe we just assume they're going to give us a 2-prizer, or we're going to save the catcher for the very last knockout. Like, maybe we have to save the catcher for the very last knockout, and we're going to say, hey, give us Archeops. It's just always Archeops here, right? Like, it's never not Archeops. No, I think I actually just give up Blood Moon. Because Blood Moon means we get gift proc. Gift proc gives us 5 more cards. 5 more cards means we can potentially hit boss. Like, I think being able, the option to potentially be able to hit boss is really nice. Switch card, 30 damage, heals off. No vacuum shenanigans now. We can go into new Bravery Charm, or see an attack of 3. Knockout coming through. Fighting Energy finally hitting the hand after what feels like years of looking for it. Actually, an incredibly close game. It's going to come down to a Pokemon catcher flip. We're going to go see the attack, discard. This entire game that I think the Raging World player has been missing beats at every single point. It's going to come down to a single coin flip, and it's heads. There it is. He's excited. Up comes the Luminion. 3 energies discarded. Raging Bolt takes game 1, and we're moving on. The Raging World player using that one prizer very efficiently in a manner where they can be able to pick off these Chinchinos time after time, putting them in a position where they're able to just find that gust, play the margins a little bit. Finding their Bravery Charms actually at pretty crucial opportunities, using every single gust to their full potential, and winning the game off the back of it. Obviously, I think a little bit of blunders from not using Sadas at certain points in the game, but they were able to kind of recover from those blunder situations and put themselves in a spot where they can still win the game. But I think if we just attacked through the normal route of attacking, Lugia had an incredibly slow start. We could have really capitalized on that, punished them. Like, we didn't see Summoning Star until almost turn 4. So if we were able to just attack like normal, with just using our fighting efficiently, and maybe not even committing to the Sandy Shocks early, we would have maybe gone up enough on prize cards to win that game by taking 2 on a Lugia, taking 2 on a Lugia again, and then from there you just kind of like catapult the game, where it's whatever. 2 Minchinos prized, actually really bad for the Lugia player. We're going to see the Great Ball. Lugia choosing to go first here, which I think is fine. We're going to go ahead and see a Great Ball. And the hand is all energies from Lugia. Maybe that's all she wrote. This is not a good hand. Plain and simple. We're going to see another Lugia hitting the board, though, so we are saved from turn 1 donk, potentially, or turn 1 play. We just missed the active, seems fine, or just missed the bench, put an energy on the board, and pass seems okay. We see a ton of energies already in the hand, and a Vessel, a Raging Bolt. We see a Vessel to put away a Fighting or a Lightning here. From the Raging Bolt player, we can go ahead and get a Nest Ball for Greninja if the Greninja is not prized, and we know it's not prized from our POV, I believe. So we can go ahead and get Greninja. Vessel again, 2 Fightings into the discard, getting a Grass and a Grass. I mean, this position we can also just Nest Ball and maybe get a Raging Bolt and just draw 3. Because we can now accelerate to 2 Raging Bolts, draw 3, and all we need to do is find a Teal Mask and a Grass, and we already have a Grass in hand, so now Teal Mask is really all we need to get a knockout this turn, which is kind of pretty easy to do. We have a Squawk ability in hand. We did put all those energies in our hand for a reason. Squawk coming through. I think I do see a Teal Mask in hand. I think away a Nest Ball maybe. Nope, Greninja. We can see 2 more cards. We have Switch Card. I mean, that's fine. We can just Switch Card for a knockout. I think that's completely okay. And I think it's just discard both Fightings. Oh, no, they discard all the energy. Yeah, 4 energy. It gets the turn 1 knockout. That's why this deck is so powerful. Lugia's hand is all energies. Oh my god. How are they going to come into this game and do anything? I don't know. I mean, it's got to be Ultra Ball for Luminion. And what supporter do you grab if you're Lugia? Research means you lose a lot of energies. You lose, you can attach Legacy. I mean, it's got to be Research or Iono. That's the only thing we can do here. And if we Iono, it's got to be the most insane Iono of our lives. Quick deck search here. We see Jamming Tower as well, making its way into the list. I mean, the Raging Bolt player does have 0 energy on board, and a bunch of energies did hit the discard. I think there's 4 Grass, 2 Fighting, 2 Lightning in the discard. But on the flip side, that means that Energy Retrieval is live. Sada is live. Gear for Sada is live. Yeah, so there's a bunch of cards that are now live. Vessel is a little bit less live, but I think it's just, okay, we're going to go ahead and go with the Iono and say we're going to get 6 cards. We're going to see what these 6 cards can be, but I'm going to put you at a lower hand size and see what you're going to be doing. Iono, not even attaching the Legacy here. Just seeing what the Call of Fate brings us to. Not even another basic. We're going to go ahead and see a Gift Energy to the active. and a Read the Wind for 3. Another Chops, but the rest of the hand is not looking too hot. There's the Sada. There's 2 Fighting Energies. All we're looking for is a way to get to Vessel or more energies. Do we see it in the hand? We don't. I think the hand is stalled out. And it's over. Pass it over. No energies, saved by the grace of the deck. There's a Research in the hand, actually. We're going to see an Aroma. Tails, getting a Chinchino. I mean, we can also get Blood Boon or Selena here and just be super aggressive. But maybe this is like not good. Because then we give them another 2 prizes and they can just go 2/2/2 off the board. And in a situation, the remaining 2 prizes, you can put a Legacy on the board somewhere, which actually does something in the current state of the board. I think we put the Jamming Tower to play for sure. So this Chinchino in the hand, this Chinchino in the hand is the last Chinchino. And if this goes down, the other 2 are prized. So there will be no other Chinchino to work with. And we need to hit a V-Star this turn. Can we do that? Can we hit a V-Star? There's the V-Star. But we drew into a ton of energies once again. We see the V-Star coming through. Bang, bang. 2 Lugias hitting the board. We're going to go ahead and see the Summoning Star has been used. We're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to see probably just an attack here. A ton of energy. 5 energies in the hand, which is super unideal. But at the very least, we can get an attack off this turn, I'm pretty sure. Like, there's no reason we can't. I think we can just commit the Legacy energy, honestly, just because I don't think there's a world where it goes on anything else. So putting it on a 2-prizer here, like Lugia, is really nice because now Lugia, I don't know. I think I would just commit to the Legacy energy here. But maybe you commit the Legacy energy to Minchino. And you always accelerate 2 here to Minchino just because if a Gust happens and Minchino gets knocked out, Archeops gets knocked out, you have that option to play back into this. So now we get to go back into the Raging Bolt player's turn. Another Sada. The chain continues. 3rd Sada of the game. 1, 2, 3. Attack is guaranteed. Knockout is yet not guaranteed. There it is. There's a retrieval that guarantees it virtually. 1. We're going to go see 2 off the Teal Mask ability. Board is loaded up. Bravery Charm probably goes on the bench. Just because no reason not to. Hand is juicy. I really wouldn't play any more cards out of it. You have a lot of resources to work with. You have, you can Ultra Ball away thin some of the bad cards out of your hand, the fluff. But you have, actually you don't have any more ways to get energy, so maybe like an Iono would be fine. Oh, you already saw it. Never mind, I trolled. But here, we just, I think, discard off the active, freest discard of our life. We can thin out a card. We see all the energy. There's so many energies left. There's Vessels left. The outs to find the pieces we need are all there. We're going to go ahead and see the discard of 4 coming through. Perfect 280. 2 prize cards remaining. And Iono here would be pretty damaging. I think there's only 1 Sada left in the deck. Illuminating attack here is pretty good. I think that's the game plan we're going for to get it off the board. Aroma. Tails. There's an Iono already in the hand. Preemptively pre-fired. Nothing really we want to grab here, I think. I think we can just go ahead and proc all of the energy excels that we want to do here with Archeops. Just go ahead and accelerate the legacies and stuff. Flutterman is, I think, what we're going to push up after the knockout, maybe. Or maybe we're just going to Iono to the bottom. Flutterman is also an interesting tech here because Flutterman is good into Lugia Mirror to some degree, and it's really good into... So we're going to just accelerate to the Chinchino, just set up 2 of them. Basically just make it so we have 2 attackers in case Archeops goes down. We have the DT on the active, Flutterman for the bench in case it's our target we want to go into. Iono coming through. Big hand, 6 cards for Lugia. We're going to see the Lumineon knockout, throwing up Flutter. Raging Bolt coming into the active, probably. Pretty easy knockout here, just need to have an attachment, which is... super doable. But there is a second Jamming Tower in the hand. Catcher in hand as well. But I don't think you care about catching right now. I think maybe you could wait. You have catcher, you have bundle, you have a lot of resources to push through the active. You don't really need to do it this turn. Iono in hand. We're going to have to Iono for 1 or 2 here. A lot of cards going on the bottom of Lugia's deck. Seeing 2 cards. We have a miss here. A Bravery Charm hitting the board. Gear. So this is the last card in hand. The gear reveals that will be more than likely a Sada coming to the hand. But we can't play another supporter here. So we're going to go just grab this Sada probably for next turn. Oh no, we used the attack. Celestial Roar. We just drew 6. I'm sorry. I thought we used gear. I was like, why would we be using gear? But we used the attack to discard our hand and draws more cards. So now we have the Ultra Ball for the Chinchino. We're going to go ahead and go Blood Moon or Suna as well here. We can go Blood Moon. We can go Legacy onto the Blood Moon. And the Blood Moon can now attack for free. Or for 1 energy card, sorry. Blood Moon now one-shots through the tower. We're going to see the Jet Energy. We're going to see the knockout from Blood Moon. We have to take a Chinchino out of the prizes. He hasn't looked yet. He sees it. I mean, I think the facial expressions give it away that we are able to find our Chinchino. To 2 Chinchino prize, we are finding a line here back into this game. Certainly from the jaws of defeat, we are finding a way into victory. Sada has to be the play. We can't attack otherwise this turn, so you don't really have another play. You have to Teal Mask first, maybe hit into another Raging Bolt. Sandy Shocks is good too. We can put energy onto the board. Sandy Shocks, I think, does not one-shot the Freddy Fazbear here, so we can go ahead and draw. We can go ahead and do the Sada, draw 3. Look at how all these energies came out of nowhere, which is kind of crazy to me. We're going to Greninja, draw 2. We have Retrieval in hand, so it's completely okay to make this play. Deck is super thin already. We're going to go ahead and grab, probably just Retrieval back to Lightning and attack. The problem is that's our last Sada, and we haven't hit Palpad. So, not having access to Palpad here is like a little bit unfortunate. We're going to go into the Sandy Shocks here. We're going to see a attack. We know that there is a boss in hand. So if there is 2 energy in the deck, the game is over. Because now Archeops gets 1, puts it on the Blood Moon or Suna for retreat. If there's a second in the deck, you can just retreat into Minchino and attack and take out an Ogrepon, or the Squawk maybe. Oh, it's a research, not a boss, sorry. So now we can attach retreat with the double turbo jets and knockout for 140. We're going to see the Great Ball for 7. Finding another Archeops, thinning it out a little bit, ultra balling that away. Grabbing maybe just something, another dead card. Luminian's fine too. There's a Mist left in the deck. Not a ton of energies left from either side. Attach there. Aroma. Heads. This is a very clear indicator that the Minchino is prized as soon as we don't get it here. Last Minchino is prized as well, but this Blood Moon Ursulina is enough to clean up the game. Counting all the energies, 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe there's a play where we can gust up something and stick. Counting everything in general, not enough energies that we have exhausted. We have to make a play here where it's going to be Iono. But Blood Moon Ursulina, and it's got to be a stadium bump. Iono stadium bump. We have to have both those things, which we do have both those things in hand. It's just going to be a matter of fate. Can we find a way to circumvent this Bravery Charm off of 2 cards? We know that there is no other Minchino. Maybe they took it off the prize cards. Chinchino. Slamming that, getting these cards. A Rod coming back, putting some energies back into the deck. 3 grass energies, just giving us Teal Mask ability usage procs, as well as Greninja draws, which are good here. Where you see 2 energies coming off the board. 6 off the draw. A prayer, a Hail Mary to God, hoping that something will come of it. Draw for turn, and the Jamming Tower. All we have to do is put the Jamming Tower into play, and that is the game. We go to game 3. There's the Jamming Tower. There's the knockout. We're going to game 3. A back-and-forth series that has been determined on the final turn of the game when one player can win and the other player can't at the very end. Exhilarating, just how you want Pokemon to go. One last game, one last display of prowess. Who will come out on top in this Japan Championship Series? Who will be the national champion representing Japan heading to the World Championships? The name that we're going to be watching out for here in the West as they head to Honolulu, Hawaii. Both these players will be representing the country of Japan at the World Championships. Should be an exciting time when push comes to shove. A lot of time left on the clock. These two decks are aggressive decks in general as well, so you can count on them finishing games. That's not really an issue. Gonna go ahead and draw a bunch of cards. Let's see who chooses to go first. Blood Moon Ursuna is one of the prize cards, but is one of the earlier prize cards, so not too relevant. One of the big charms is a relevant prize card to be seen. Raging Bolt chooses to go first, it looks like. Not the worst idea in the world, actually. They can squawk away this hand and see more energy cards this turn. But I do think there was a Prime Catcher in the hand. I didn't get a great glimpse of it. There was, yep. So Squawk, Ogrepon. We're going to go ahead and use the Squawk ability. Getting rid of Palpad, Rod, and Prime Catcher. Very important resources for the mid to late game. Vessel giving us access to Teal Mask and probably a Lightning here, because I don't think we have a Lightning in hand or access to a Lightning. Doing just a quick count of everything, because game one, we almost got punished by not having a full count of everything in our deck. The Lugia player, again, with a pretty awkward hand, but we're going to go ahead and be able to just like slam some energies onto the board. Another Vessel, Vesseling the Lightning away. Getting a Grass and a Lightning again. Just filling up our hand, giving ourselves options. An attachment here to Raging Bolt, I presume, and that will be a pass over to the other turn. Lugia drawing for the turn. There is a Flutterman. There's going to be a Research, an Archeops hitting the discard, and a Chinchito hitting the discard. We're going to see a bunch of cards. Okay, we are almost certainly going to have to get a Lugia here if we get something. Heads, that's not ideal. If this Lugia goes down, I think it could be Wraps. There is no access to a second Lugia. Is this how the series is going to end? I see a Great Ball, actually, so maybe it's not. We're just going to not chance it with the Great Ball. We're just going to Ultra Ball and get a second Lugia into play almost certainly. There we go. It's not Wraps just like that. It's not over for the Lugia player. They were able to get two Lugias into play against Shrek Neck, the deck here. Chinchito, and then just a pass. We're going to see the Sada coming through. A powerful turn two from the Raging Bolt player. Another Teal Mask ability. Seeing one more card here. A Nest Ball, probably for Greninja, or a Teal Mask Ogrepon. Both are excellent options to continue to keep the chain of acceleration of energy going. Teal Mask allowing us to keep going and having basically attacks off the active. Just getting rid of Greninja, saying we don't need any more draw. Getting Sandy Shocks as a option into the Minchinos. We're going to go ahead and just see a knockout here, I think. Nothing crazy. 4 coming off the board, taking a knockout here. Assuming that they're going to be going down to a Chinchino, which I think is a fine assumption to make. 2 Archeops in the discard. No V-Star in the hand. I think an Aroma Flip is what we're looking at. Or we can Luminion for the Jacques. Maybe that's what we're thinking about here. Luminion for Jacques. Jacques for V-Star. Guarantee the V-Star attack here. Take prize cards. But now we're in a position where that means that the Raging Bolt player gets a free knockout with the Sandy Shocks with given Asada into the active. So now 4 energy is going to get committed to the active, and a knockout will come out of it. But there's no other access to another Minchino. There's another one, no other one on the board. Committing the Legacy energy early here, evolving up. Making sure this Chinchino is a 0 prize knockout. Blood Moon Ursuna being taken off the prize cards is very important here. Because now even though Sandy Shocks can come up and take a prize card, it's not actually a prize card. You're actually just doing nothing with the Sandy Shocks, which now means Lugia plus Boss's orders can take out either an Ogrepon or the Squawk ability. Probably with the Squawk ability, just take a free prize card off the board. Or if there's energy still on an Ogrepon, you could make that play. Looking probably for a catcher or a boss here. Looks like we have 2 gust effects in the hand, so we're going to go ahead and SCR back a ton of energies to the hand. Getting rid of our Sada options, it looks like, because I think we're planning on bossing here. So, yep, there it is. Teal Mask ability 1. Teal Mask ability 2. We're going to see the attachment for turn. Another Raging Bolt hitting the board. And a boss's orders, I think, onto the bench Lugia. Taking 2 prize cards here. Trying to go for a 2-2-2 strategy. Luminion being the last prize card available to us to win this game. If Luminion gets bounced off the board, this game can end. The Blood Moon Ursuna is a great thing to bench right now, because I think you're just saying on your opponent you need to have a catcher anyway to win the game. If you can't bounce this Luminion, I think you just bench it. If you have a way you think you can bounce it, then you don't bench it. But I think in this situation you just bench it, saying, hey, if you have a boss, you win anyway. Boss, Sada, attach, you win the game. Like, I can't do anything about that. You win the game if that happens. Can't really do much about it. Good luck to your brother. And then on the other side, we see that SER, Palpad, Rod, Um, a bunch of energy's gone. I think 2 Sada are gone. We are in a position where we can Iona them low to 2 and kind of hope there's no Great Ninja on the board. Sandy Shocks hit the slot instead. Obviously, you don't know if you're going to go for a 2-2 game plan this early in the game. Blood Moon Ursula hitting the board. Archeops is going to be able to accelerate some stuff to it. Putting a gift there doesn't really matter right now, just because if it gets bossed, you lose the game anyway. But getting energies out of the deck is important, just to make sure we don't draw back into them. Gift onto Luminion. It doesn't actually matter what we do here with the gift and the extra attachment. Just energies we don't want to draw into when we Iono here is the big thing. Because our thinking now is we have to Iono for a boss as well. Oh, the stream ended. That's weird. I don't know how it ends. I'll be right back. I guess I have to go find it. Okay, we found the end of the game. It's actually Azul's stream because the official stream is gone, so we're stealing from Azul's content. We're at the end game. We are in a position where now the attack comes through the Iono. It's 2 for 2. Sada, Catcher. That's what the resources are needed to win this game. Can we get there? There's a jamming tower in play as well. We need a poke gear. We need to hit a gear here, plus a catcher. Energy. Pawn. None of that does anything for us. And I think that is the end of the game. Just a pass. His hand sucked. Nothing he could do there. And there it is. A great show of sportsmanship. I wanted to make sure I got the end there. Sorry, guys, for the cutoff awkwardly, but thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the finals match. And Lugia VSTAR is our winner. Thank you so much. Peace out. See you guys next time.